Good afternoon, everyone. It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you doing? And welcome to another episode of Chatterbox. Hope everyone's doing fine. Everyone's doing great. And this is the match preview between Manchester United and Athletic Bilbao, which is ultimately the game of the season for us. It's the game of the season for us. It's do or die, isn't it? To be honest with you. So these next two games against Bilbao will be the games, of course, guys, will be the games of our season. Probably the biggest game since the FA Cup, both games. So we'll have this game and then at home, away from home, and then we'll have the game at home, of course. Both games are going to be extremely important going forward. And you know what? Won't only affect this season, it will also affect the coming seasons, in my opinion. Guys, it is extremely, extremely important that Man United win or get a result tomorrow, even if it is a narrow win. But look, tomorrow maybe we take them back to Old Trafford. Maybe we take them back to Old Trafford, and we win the game at Old Trafford. But I'm not too confident about our home form, if you know what I mean. I'm not too confident about it. If I'm being honest, the home form isn't great. If I'm being fair, and we have to do better at home. And getting a win away from home might be a blessing in disguise. If we can nick a win, it'd be absolutely fantastic. But a draw wouldn't be the end of the world. To bring them back to Old Trafford, of course, guys. There are a lot of stipulations. Bilbao are missing there. Valverde has confirmed that their main striker, of course, Ernesto Valverde has ruled him out, of course. But he won't give away too much in regards to Nico Williams. It is expected that Nico Williams will be fit for this game. He will be fit for this game. He will be ready for this game. So we have to just expect their best team to be playing tomorrow. That is what's most important. If I'm being honest, guys, we just expect that their best team plays. And you know what? We have to beat just whoever's in front of us. We have to beat them, of course, guys. Thank you, everyone who's joining me. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and smash a like on the video. If you guys can do that for me, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everyone who's joined me today. Unexpectedly, some may say. Chatterbox is back. Big up, Kenny. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing it. We need to make a statement away from August Bilbao, in my opinion. A statement would be great, but just not losing the game. The most important thing is for Manchester United to go through. And Man United against Bilbao. I remember the last time we played Athletic Bilbao in the Europa League and we got knocked out by Athletic Bilbao. They play a unique brand of football that they have had for generations. They've had this unique brand of football that it is a Basque style of football. And they know it very well. They know it very well. They play it very well. And they don't give away anything. So when we played Bilbao the last time, I believe it was 2012, we played Bilbao and Ander Herrera played for Bilbao that day. I was confident Man United were going to win. I'm always am, but I was confident Man United were going to win. But I was shocked when the game started. I was shocked how good Bilbao actually were. And we kind of took that game extremely lightly, which is crazy when you think about it. Man United usually taking. I mean, I'm not surprised in one way because when you look at it, when you analyze it, Man United should be beating the likes of Bilbao. They should be beating the likes of them quite easily. But you know what? They actually outplayed us that time. And over the two legs, we deserved to get knocked out. And that is one of the reasons that we ended up going in for Ander Herrera. Of course, Ander Herrera didn't sign in the first season. He got an injury. Then the next season, he did sign up, didn't he? And to be honest with you, this is going to be a similar game tomorrow, and we have to be ready for this game, guys. Let me just write this tweet down. We have to be ready for this, of course, guys. We have to be ready for this game, of course. Big up, Triple M. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Good afternoon. Ahmad Delictor in training. Yep, Ahmad and Delictor in training. Great news, of course. Good afternoon, Tyborg. How you doing, you legend? Hope you're doing well, my friend. Good to see you. At least we get a draw. We know what we have to do to play for next week. Absolutely. The only concern I have, Triple M, is our home form. That is it. The only concern for me is the home form. It is the fact that we're not as good as we used to be at home. But when we look at the past and we look at the game many years ago now, I remember it. We lost the first game 2-1. In the first leg, the 15th of March, 2012. We lost the first game 2-1. And we brought them back to Old Trafford. And the first legs we lost 3-2, and then we went away and we lost 2-1. So we lost the first leg at home 3-2, by 3-2. So that was a shock to the system. That was really a shock to the system in the Europa League. And I actually felt, Man United are going to win that Europa League. We're going to do it. We're going to win it. You know what I mean? It was a bit like now. So Man United really do need to be aware of what Bilbao are going to offer. This is a massive game for Bilbao. Bilbao want to go to the final. They want to play in that final at their ground, of course, which is an extra incentive for them. But Man United have to be ready to stop that, right? There are teams that have played Bilbao in the past and knocked out Bilbao. They're a great team. Great news in regards to Ahmad and De Ligt back in training. Will they play? I don't think they're going to play tomorrow, but they will be probably on the bench tomorrow. Ruben Amorim is very big on basically fitness, match fitness and stuff like that. And I feel like tomorrow it might be a little bit too soon for De Ligt and Ahmad. But obviously the next leg, they're going to be ready, which will be fantastic for us. We need Ahmad in particular in regards to our attacking. Obviously with Xerxes out now, and we need obviously De Ligt back, because De Ligt is solid. De Ligt's been one of our players of the season, so underrated in regards to this season. He's been one of our players of the season, in my opinion. But this game, of course, will define us in regards to next year, this year, the year after. Being in the Champions League next season will determine who we sign in the summer as well. You know, the attraction of being in the Champions League for other players, they're going to want to play in the Champions League. And if it was between Man United and Liverpool, they're going to want to go to Liverpool because they're in the Champions League. But if Man United are in the Champions League, we got a leg to stand on, haven't we? And it'd be a much more attractive proposition for Man United, for any suitor who could possibly come to Manchester United, of course. Adam, what's going on, my friend? I'll be doing. Hi, mate. How are you? Okay? I'm very well. Thank you, Adam. Hope you're doing well. Come on, United tomorrow night, mate. Big up United tomorrow. It's massive, guys. It's massive. It is the biggest game since the FA Cup final, in my opinion. And I'm not over-exaggerating that. It is very big. It actually is bigger than the FA Cup final, in my opinion. I actually feel that it is such a huge game. It is such a huge game. Man United against Bilbao. And I cannot fathom how important it is. I cannot emphasize, should I say, how important this game is. And to be honest with you, I hope the players are ready. We haven't got our full team. We haven't obviously got Dalot is out. Of course, Dalot is out. Whatever you make of that, what you will. But Dalot will not be playing tomorrow, of course. So we will have to play a makeshift lineup. And I'm going to get into my lineup very soon, guys. I'm going to get into my lineup. Let me know what you think about it. And my prediction, of course. And my prediction for the game. My lineup and prediction. To be honest with you, here we go. I'm going to give you the lineup now. Lisa, what's going on, my friend? I believe in our team for tomorrow. We always step up for the big games, and hopefully we can grab something there. I really hope so. Come on, Lisa. Absolutely. Big up. Love the positivity. Winning the FA Cup got us here in the first place. Absolutely. It did. But this is more important because this is about qualifying for the Champions League. So this is very important because this isn't only about qualifying for the Champions League. That's massive. It is about our summer. It's about our window. Who we're going to get, what players we're going to get, who we're going to attract. This is what's important about this game. This is why this game is so fundamentally important and really, really, not only for this season, not only for next season, for future seasons. It's a bit like a domino effect going through the next few years. If we don't qualify for Europe, which we won't do if we don't win the Europa League, we are in a little bit of a toxicity in bubble that we're going to have next season, definitely. You know, whether Ruben Amorim will survive, I don't want them to do anything. I don't think it's Ruben Amorim's fault, whatever happens in this game. Whether he will survive or not is another story. And I feel like it would just be like going back a few steps again, of course. Yorkshire Cowboy, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Winning is so much more than a trophy. We need to look attractive. There we go. Absolutely. There we go, my friend. Gutierrez links are coming hot. Rumors are true or just media hype. At the moment, Paul, look, I believe, and I've always said it, if Man United win the Europa League, Man United will sign a striker of quality, a bit like Gutierrez. But that depends if Man United win the league, win the Europa League. That is, it's imperative. Man United win this Europa League. then we'll be more attractive. You know, we'll have that 90 million to spend, so to speak, won't we? We'll be able to bring in a striker. Whereas if we don't qualify for Europe next season, we're looking at the bottom end. We're looking at Delap's. We're looking at these type of players. And to be honest with you, Delap, they're good players and they can be nurtured and they can be trained. But look at our fan base now. We're already turning on the likes of Dorgu. We're already turning on these young players, Garnacho and stuff like that. Imagine when Delap comes and he hasn't scored in a couple of games. Imagine that. And you know, what are the fans going to be like with him? Are they going to start jumping on him? Are they going to get, you know, start criticizing him and blah, blah, blah? It is a dodgy thing. Amash should play tomorrow. There you go. Is the French striker coming to Manchester today? Yes, the French striker, the young French striker. Yeah, I mentioned him last week. Yes, he looks like he's signing for Man United. Another project player, by the way, of course. You know, these things I look at and I think, yeah, they're great. We got good young players. Man United have got Musa. Man United have got Chido. Man United have got good young players. That is not the problem. The problem is Man United experience element of the things, you know, players who can do it now. And this is obviously a big problem that we've been facing, you know. I have no worries about Man United's youth team. Whether we bring in more youth players, great. You know what I mean? That's great. They can go on loan or can they do it? But, you know, we have good strikers up front in the youth team. And, you know, maybe we can get them a chance next season. Musa, of course, scored 6 goals the other day, didn't he? 6 goals from the youth team, of course. Dorgu already been scapegoat for the weeks already to be, and why, Kenny? And why? He's 20 years old, you know, and people expect these players to be the finished article. They expect these players to be the finished article. They expect them to go out there and perform every single week like Roberto Carlos. That's what they want. You know, when they see Dorgu, you know, they don't understand that majority of these players, and this is why you have to mix in young players with experience, because when you have the young players, they're on their own. Right now, Man United, we have an array of young players coming in and the pressure is on. A bit like Erasmus, the pressure is on. These Garnacho, pressure's on. Ahmad, pressure's on. Mainu, pressure's on. Dorgu, pressure's on. Euro, pressure's on. People were turning against Euro. I saw on Twitter this week, people turning against Lenny Euro. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, come on. I mean, the guy is a generational. There's a reason that Real Madrid wanted Lenny Euro. There is a reason behind that. At the end of the day, but I'm sure you're itching to see the team that I predict. Well, I think should be. I don't know if my prediction is going to be right, but this is maybe the team. And my prediction for the game is Athletic Bilbao 1, Manchester United 1. I think we'll get a draw. I think we'll get a draw. And to be honest with you, this is what I think the team will be. Of course, there's going to be 1 or 2 players that you may differ. It is subjective, and you know, we can look at that and say maybe we could put Casemiro in there with Ugarte, but I wanted the more fluidity in the midfield. I wanted a little bit more fluidity, of course, bearing in mind that Mazraoui will be playing on the right wing back. Mazraoui is more of a full back and a central defender than a right wing back. So I felt like we need more productivity in regards to the midfield position so we can get the ball forward. So you can prefer Ugarte, you can prefer Bruno in there. I mean, there's not much room for change in regards to our squad. The only other surprise is regards to Luke Shaw. I am at that position, guys. I'm at that position that I feel that we shouldn't be playing Lindelof or Lindesoft, whatever you want to say. I don't think we should be playing Lindelof in this game. I really don't. I don't rate Lindelof. I think Lindelof is going to struggle in this game. Listen, yeah, just read that one. Absolutely. Did you see Arsenal qualify for the final? Do you see Arsenal qualify for the final? Listen, I'll be honest with you. No, I don't. I don't see Arsenal qualifying for the final. I thought some of their comments by their fans were absolutely disgraceful yesterday. I felt like they need to hold it. They need to stop making excuses for themselves and have accountability at the end of the day. You got the manager blaming the fans. You got the fans blaming Wayne Rooney. They were blaming Wayne Rooney yesterday. He called him Wayne Rooney all sorts of names yesterday. What does Wayne Rooney have to do with Arsenal not getting through? I mean, this is the problem with Arsenal fans. They're so disrespectful, especially like we would never bad chat a player like Patrick Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, or Thierry Henry, like I heard about Wayne Rooney this week, which was disgusting. You know, and to be honest with you, that is just an example of what Arsenal fans are. That's an example of the way they are in regards to classness. You know, and then they were blaming the Europa, the Champions League being a glorified cup competition this morning, of course. Kenny, Exactly so. Every time player signs to the club, the fan base love to write them off signing Dorgu. Can you imagine we signed Delap? Can you imagine we signed Delap and then he hasn't scored for 3 games? Watch what's going to happen. You can read it like a book. They're going to be like, oh, was Rasmus Højlund as bad as Delap? You watch it, guys. You're going to predict it. Predict these words. Remember these words. If we sign someone like Liam Delap, watch next season when he doesn't score for a few games, people are going to be jumping on him and saying that, well, he's no better than Rasmus Højlund. I guarantee it, guys. You can read it like a book. It's going to be, it's so predictable at the end of the day. Kenny, my prediction is 3-1 Man United, maybe delusion, but I would love that, Kenny. If Man United go out there and win by 3-1, I would absolutely love that. That would be beautiful for me. You know what I mean? Because that would mean a nice, easy game at Old Trafford. It's just stress-free, to be honest with you, because the game's going to be very stressful. As you know, me and you, Kenny, we have to be up very, very late at night watching these games, and the less stress, the better, to be fair. So next week, if we get to Old Trafford and we got, like, for example, a 3-1 lead, that'd be absolutely perfect, wouldn't it? Absolutely lovely. Sure, he's overweight. Don't think he can cope with Williams. He's not going to be coping with Williams. He's going to be playing as a left-sided centre-back, Leeson. The one who will be coping with Williams will be Dorgu, because he'll be playing the wing-back position. So it'll be Dorgu's responsibility to track back. Shaw's only responsibility will be to recover sometimes. I don't get all this Nico Williams business. He's a good player. But you know what? Man United play great teams in the Premier League, great players in the Premier League every single week. And I don't think we should be fearing anyone, to be honest with you. I don't think he's 100% fit as well, by the way, Nico Williams. Casemiro over Kobe for me. I think he knows what to expect. That's true. And my only concern is the slowness, Yorkshire Cowboy, the speed of the play. I want Man United to bring that ball forward. I don't want us to be sitting back too deep. And with Imagery on that right-hand side, basically right midfield, it is a little bit, you know what I mean, slow, if you ask me. Leeson, I would prefer Amas over Shaw. Amas can't play left-sided centre-back, Leeson. Amas can only play left-sided wing-back and left-back. He cannot play left-sided centre-back. The reason I would play Luke Shaw on the left-sided centre-back is because Nico Williams is a natural on that side. And if we have square pegs in round holes, for example, if we play Lindelof in the left-sided centre-back, he's going to get done more than Luke Shaw. Trust me. He's going to get done more than Luke Shaw. So I would say that I'll play Luke Shaw because he's a left footer in the left-sided centre-back position with Dorgu. Harry Amas is a left-sided left wing-back. I'm not sure about throwing Harry Amas in such a big game like this, if I'm being fair. How are you doing? Well, Sal, is everything got everything's okay? Ephraim, thank you so much. I'm getting there, not 100%. I'm getting there, but you know what? It was, you know what? Could have been worse, but I'm very well. Thank you so much for asking, Ephraim. Hope you're good, mate. Adam, hi, Sal. Do you know Arsenal fans what you think of them, mate? Do you know Arsenal fans what you think of them, mate? I mean, I have nothing against Arsenal as a football club. I think, but in regards to the fans, I have no time for the Arsenal fans. I mean, and my history with Arsenal fans go back, you're looking at 30, 40 years. And I have endless amounts of experience in regards to Arsenal fans, the way they are, the way they talk about, even when Man United were at their peak, even when we were winning trebles, they will never muster the ability to compliment. They will never do that. And to be honest with you, I've had one compliment about Man United from an Arsenal fan in 40 odd nearly years that I've been supporting this football club. One. And that just goes to show you that how I remember it, because it was my next door neighbor. I remember standing outside my house, and they lifted the window at the top floor, the second floor of their house. And and the guy said to me, his name was Cameron. He said to me, "Oh, Man United, they're a great team." That's when we won the treble, right? And to be honest with you, 98, 99. And he goes, Man United are a great team. I couldn't believe my ears. I thought, wow, yeah, that's as much as you're going to get from an Arsenal fan. Now, Arsenal, they have the ego of Real Madrid, but they have the ability, they have the success in Europe of Stoke City. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, the way they spoke about Wayne Rooney yesterday, the way they were speaking about the Champions League, downplaying the Champions League, calling the Champions League a glorified cup competition is to be honest with you, petty, isn't it? I'd take Delap over Rasmus and take it. It's tough. Delap, what I noticed about Rasmus, and I'm very concerned about Rasmus, Yorkshire Cowboy. I think that he's not getting himself in the game enough. People say that he needs to get the ball. Yeah, that's okay. That's part of it. That's part of it. But I grew up in an era where strikers make things happen for themselves sometimes as well. And, get that ball from the midfield and take that ball, run up the pitch and score from 40, 30 yards. We all remember Ruud van Nistelrooy doing that, don't we? Taking that ball from his own half, running all the way to the top and burying it in the top corner. We remember that, don't we? Sometimes if someone slams the door in your face, make your own door. And that's what my biggest advice would be to any striker that plays for Manchester United. Make things happen for yourself. If you're not getting the ball, make things happen for yourself. That's what I would say. And that is my honest opinion about that. Russell needs to do something soon. Tap-ins don't count. His general play is rubbish. He's regressed since his first season, Yorkshire Cowboy. And to be honest with you, I think it would be good for him if he went on loan. If he went on loan, I think it would be good for him. I really do. I think that would be good for his career. If he went to Germany, if he went to Italy, back to Italy and stuff, I think it would be good for his career for him to go on loan. Definitely. Absolutely. I think if we get a draw there, it's a good result. I mean, it's not a bad result, Ephraim. It's not. And absolutely. And to be honest with you, we can't be overly confident because they are a fantastic team. But we can't be overly zealous, overly pessimistic as well. We've got to be confident that we can beat Athletic Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao are not Real Madrid. Athletic Bilbao are not Barcelona. Athletic Bilbao are not Atletico Madrid. This is what we have to remember. They are not in that league. They're in the Real Sociedad, a little bit better than Real Sociedad. That is what we have to remember. Real Sociedad, of course, with their Zubimendis and their Kubos and that, who we were worried about as well before we played Real Sociedad. We were worried about those players, weren't we? And now, it was relatively easy game. All right, we got a little bit luck at Old Trafford, the red card, but we should have beaten Real Sociedad pretty comfortably over 2 legs, in my opinion. Absolutely. Let me just close this one down. There we are. I would prefer a Gutierrez or Osman, an experienced striker, to help Rasmus. Don't think Delat would be an improvement. We need an experienced striker. And ideally, it would be fantastic if Man United can get an experienced striker in there rather than having to rely on kids. And that is what it is at the end of the day, Unless they're generational talents, I don't think Man United should be signing them. I don't see a generational talent with Delat. I see a good player. I don't see someone like a Doué, for example, of PSG. I don't see someone who's going to, become this elite world class. You never know, of course, because obviously when Harry Kane came in, Harry Kane was very slow to get going and stuff like that. I mean, I remember Harry Kane playing for Leyton Orient, walking around Leyton, after the game because he was on loan there and, he couldn't get going. But then it clicked and it happened, of course. You never know with certain players. Yo, mate, I believe we are going to the final Lift That Trophy. We are Man United 3-year-time European champion. Absolutely. Russell says, if we beat Bilbao, then we'll win the Europa League. Yep. That is my key. This is the toughest game in the Europa League. Out of all the games we could have played, Bilbao is the toughest game that we're going to play. You look at who's left. Tottenham, Bodo Glimt, and Bilbao and Man United. We have the hardest game. So if we defeat Bilbao over 2 legs, and it's going to be very difficult because obviously, as I said, Bilbao have the extra incentive that they want to win. They want to get to the final where they'd be playing at home, and they'll be very confident that they're going to win that. This game is the winner of the Europa League. This game is the winner of the Europa League, whether it's Man United or Bilbao. Whoever goes through in this game, these are going to be the winners. I don't think even if we play Tottenham Hotspur, we should be fearing teams like Tottenham Hotspur. Tottenham Hotspur don't win. Tottenham Hotspur are bottlers. So we shouldn't worry about them. It's better than Højlund. Does that not mean we have to get him? We need experience. Because Delap is better than Højlund does not mean no. Unless we had the money to get both of them, we're not. I wouldn't get him ahead of Osman or Gutierrez. But this is exactly why the Europa League is so important, Ephraim. This is exactly why, because if we win the Europa League, we've got the Champions League, so we can go after Gutierrez and we can be on a level playing field with the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool and Man City and Chelsea. Right? We could be on a level playing field with those teams if we win the Europa League. If we don't win the Europa League, we're shopping in the bottom end of the basket. We're getting Delap. We're getting these type of players. We're getting Dibbling. We're getting that type of player. We need to win this Europa League so we get in the Champions League so we can attract these players. Absolutely. Hi, Sal. Would you take Kudus for number one of the number 10s? I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with him when he played for Man United against Man United, to be honest with you. Weghorst would help Rasmus more than anyone. He's older player. Rasmus and he's striker. Yes, Weghorst. He probably would. You're probably right, Yorkshire Cowboy. He probably would help him quite a lot, to be honest with you. Arsenal and City would lose to the Bilbao side, to be honest. Yeah. I said it, guys. I said, right, looking at Man United's history with PSG, I said I would have much rather played PSG than Bilbao. There's a reason, because we have done so well against PSG over the years, and we've beaten them twice away from home. We've knocked them out. Even at our worst, we knocked them out, right? So I have no fear about PSG. I mean, other teams like Arsenal, that they don't have the football heritage that we have. So obviously they are, a lot more scared of PSG, so to speak. Big up Sal, a long time, my friend. Big up LT, how you doing, my brother? I hope you're doing well. Gutierrez, Cunha and Edison would really show intent and support from Amram, because I believe those players could make a huge difference in the squad. If we signed Gutierrez, Cunha and Edison, LT, I will be celebrating. Right? I will be celebrating. I will be over the moon. I will be over the moon, jumping up and down, celebrating, because those three players, and it's only three players like that, LT, that would change the whole course of this club. You know what I mean? Because you'll have Cunha, he's got the Premier League experience. Gutierrez, who's just an absolute machine in front of goal. And Edison, who's the future of midfield play in regards to an all-rounder in midfield. Absolutely. Good. Hello, Roy Soul. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you back. Good luck to the great people of Manchester. Elect the manager who has the appellate and disgusted to watch games, wasting money, increase the relegation risk for the two good lowest. I'm not too sure what you mean by that, my friend. Level in the world have the managers, coaches, players, legends, partners, and all the fans worldwide shrinking in size with zero values and quality. If United becomes a championship team, Man United are not going to become a championship team, Roy Soul. And you know what? I've supported this club for 40 years. Man United are not going to become a championship. That's over-sensationalized, pessimistic nonsense, right? And this is not what we are about. We have to look at the context of what's going on this season. Ruben Amorim came in this season, midway through the season, with a distinctive style of play that none of these players can play. He's not got any of these players in there, and Dorgu's not one of them because he was wanted by Ineos in the summer. Right. So what we have to understand that our main priority is winning the Europa League. No, we're not happy. I'm not happy. I've seen 13 trophies, 13 Premier League titles I have. I've seen a treble. No one can tell me what success is because I've seen it. But what we have to look at is what context is. You know what I mean? And we can't just jump down this blah, 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 negativity. We have to think about winning this Europa League. We win the Europa League and we move on next season. We're in the Champions League, and Ruben Amorim will most importantly be supported, hopefully. Fingers crossed, and he will get some of the players in that he needs, of course. Roy Soul, if you want to support my football club, right, from my country, right, my opinion would be, shut up and support your football team. That would be my opinion. All right. Firstly, learn to conduct a sentence and then shut up. All right, mate. Absolutely. Hidden element. Unfortunately, Nico Williams is back for Bilbao. Yeah, it's a big deal, of course. Guys, absolutely. Even yesterday, we could have beat PSG. Yeah, I think Man United would have done better than Arsenal. LT, that happens, then I'll be cautiously optimistic about next season. Absolutely, Kenny. LT, I also feel that people forget that our two main problems are self-inflicted mistakes for goals, conceded and can't score, which is why we undefeated in Europe but struggling in the league. It's very true. It's a good point, LT. Always a good point from LT, of course, my friend. Of course, always a good point. Not like these crybabies on here who come on here and all crying and whatnot, of course, guys. Absolutely not. None of that business. Absolutely not. But look, we can look at this season and we can moan like a bitch. We can moan all day like a bitch, and you can moan and moan and moan and moan and moan, right? But it's not going to change anything right now, is it? It's not going to change anything right now. The fact of the matter is we support our football team, and in the summer, we see what happens, don't we? Right? And don't just jump on things like the people who talk about Man United worst team, this, that, oh, Man United, this, the worst team, these are standards, this, they don't understand Man United. They have no clue about Man United. I can bring them on this show. They probably wouldn't even know one player from 1968. They wouldn't know nothing about Manchester United. They just follow vibes, follow these sort of things. Absolutely. And they come on this show and they end up looking stupid. We are so negative. We're going to do tomorrow. Let's go. Absolutely, Triple M. I would take a draw, though, to be honest. We are Manchester United afraid of no one. Come on, Man United. Absolutely. So this is what it's all about. Absolutely. And I love this. Because at the end of the day, us whining like a little child is not going to help anything, guys. We know it's not going to help anything. Us whining and moaning and stuff like that about all that sort of business is not going to help us win the game tomorrow. It's all about winning the game tomorrow. So those guys who just want to moan,
fuck off.
Absolutely. That is what it's all about. Stop bloody moaning. Absolutely. And we just concentrate on supporting the team tomorrow. If we lose, here's the keys. You can come on here and have a good old whine, a good old cry. You can have whatever you want. At the end of the day, I don't think you really care. I think you're just more interested in your opinion being right. That's about it. But you know what? If you want to come on here and moan, if we lose to Bilbao, if you want to come in here and whine your gums, flap your gums at me, I'm your punch bag. I'm your punch bag. But for now, what we should be doing is supporting our bloody football club and hoping that we go on and we start winning, of course, guys. And we win tomorrow, of course. Let's hope. Let's hope, of course. That is what it's all about. Let me just see this. Don't know when the press conference is coming. I haven't seen the press conference yet. There's been no press conference as of yet. There's a press conference will probably come in Bilbao tomorrow, most likely then, isn't it? Probably come in Bilbao tomorrow because it hasn't come so far. Big up, Sal. Big up, Darren. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. 2-1 United or 3-1. I would love that. They're very good defensively, Darren, I would say. They're the fourth best defense in Spain. But Man United should have nothing to fear about Bilbao. And I would say that. United should have nothing to fear about Bilbao. And they should just be like confident that they can go there and get a result and bring them back to Old Trafford. Even if we draw the game, we bring them back to Old Trafford, that would be fine, of course. 6 p.m. UK. Bloody, it's late. That's 9 p.m. for me, Triple M. That's 9 p.m. Why so late? They got to fly to Bilbao, haven't they? Yeah, that's late. That's late for me. That's a shame. It's a shame. Sometimes they come earlier. But obviously maybe next week. But yeah, definitely. It would have been great to get some of the press conference up and stuff like that. Would have been absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. Let me check the time right now. Let's have a look. Let's check the time. UK time. 2:34 right now. Okay. Gladiator King, what's going on, my friend? Is Cunha confirmed? Some tweets are popping up. Wow, let me have a look. And unless Ornstein or Fabrizio has mentioned it, I'm not too sure. And let me there's an update from Fabrizio. Let's have a look. Nothing from Fabrizio at the moment. The fact that Ahmad and Delict, what great news that is. Ahmad and Delict are back in training, guys. What great news that is. That's fantastic news, isn't it? You know what I mean? A little bit of good news in regards to the squad, which is fantastic, of course, guys. Absolutely. But in regards to Cunha, nothing yet. It's gone a little bit quiet on that front. No surprise there. Man United never get deals done early, do they? We thought it was too good to be true. We thought we're going to get this done by June. I bet we'd be waiting in July and we'd still be waiting for Cunha to come through the door. That's what we do, isn't it? It would have been a great start. I mean, my probability of Man United signing Cunha is about 50%. It's quite a lot, to be honest with you. It's about 55% for me. That Man United signed Cunha. But obviously, it all comes down to Ineos, and it all comes down to how we approach it, this window. And if we can get Cunha through the door, that's one position done. You know, if we can get that done, then we can move on to the striker. Then we get the striker. Absolutely. Gladiator King still Cunha absolutely. We'll be negotiating for about 6 weeks now. We'll be negotiating for about 6 weeks now. You watch. You bet your bottom dollar about that. Maguire up front. There you go, Triple M. Don't be surprised if you see Maguire up front in this next two ties. Don't be surprised if you see Maguire up front. I mean, hopefully not, because that would mean that we'd be struggling. If we see Maguire up front at the end of the day. Afternoon, Sal. Buzzing for the game time. Me too, Charlotte. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Don't mind Dalat, only if we get Osman or Duqueiras as well. Yeah, that's never going to happen, Dalat. I wouldn't mind if we got like Duqueiras and Dalat. If it was something like that, I don't think we're going to get three of them. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sorry, Darren. I misread that. Yeah, if we get Osman or Duqueiras, if we get Dalat with one of those, that'd be fantastic for Man United. You can never have too many strikers, as they say. You know what I mean? I know we only play one striker these days, but yeah, it would be good. I mean, Dalat already has confirmed Ipswich Town are relegated right now, ain't they? So he's going to cost about 30 million, which is not going to be that much money, to be honest with you. And would you make the news? Nothing on Franco at the moment. My prediction in regards to Mastantuono is I like the player very much. And to be honest with you, Man United have got a habit of snoozing and losing, to be honest with you, at the end of the day. But I don't want to bring this in too much, but he is a fantastic player. And Man United should sign him as well as Cunha. But we're not going to do that. It's going to cost 38 million release clause, and it's going to be difficult. And I would love Franco Mastantuono at Manchester United. I would like Jimenez, Ignacio, all these players from South America that have got that little bit of South American grit at the end of the day, guys. Unfortunately, we have Ineos, and I know a lot of people think that if Ineos weren't there, that the Glazers wouldn't have sold. The Glazers would have sold to Qatar if Ineos weren't there. Just to correct a few people, because I know a lot of people love their opinion in regards to that. If Ineos weren't there, the Glazers would have had to sell. The Glazers could not afford the regeneration of Old Trafford. They could not afford the squad rebuild, the academy rebuild. They couldn't afford any of that, plus all the debt that goes on top of that. So they needed someone to buy the club. And if Ineos weren't there, Qatar would have bought the football club. Absolutely. Big up. I know you're everywhere. Big up, Triple M. Edison. Yeah, I'll love Everton, mate. I will love him. Big up, George Best, 007. What's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Asa, I hope you're doing well, my dear brother. Big up, my bro. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for asking me, my friend. Really appreciate you. Everyone who kept up to date with me with my flu shenanigans and stuff like that. It was awful. My goodness me. I mean, the stuff was coming out my mouth. I couldn't differentiate what it was. It's like, what the hell is this? You know what I mean? I could have molded it into a car or something. It was ridiculous. But you know what? I'm better. Thank God I'm better. And thank you everyone who checked on me and stuff like that and showing their love. You guys are absolutely incredible. I have an amazing community, a caring community. So I don't like people coming onto this community and start giving it about the negativity and stuff. We're having a bad season as it is. We know we're having a bad season, but we don't need extra masala on that negativity, do we? Because we got something to look forward to tomorrow. We got a game tomorrow, probably our biggest game since the FA Cup final. It is the biggest game since the FA Cup final, bigger in my opinion. And you know what? We need to concentrate on that and winning that game, of course. Absolutely. Definitely. Gladiator King. Some journalist calls Ross Howard. Yeah, I know who he is. It's confirming it on X. Don't know if he's a real journalist. I've heard of Ross Howard. Let me have a look. 44,000. Deal is done, he's saying. Full agreement has been reached. I don't know that this guy. I don't know about Ross Harwood, to be honest with you. Until it's mentioned by, to be honest with you, Fabrizio Romano or Mr. Ornstein, I'm not going to really say that. But it is a here we go going to be coming very soon, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait till the here we go. Once the here we go comes, and then yeah, but I don't think he's not someone I would say is a top tier journalist. Apparently, United have only 95 million in cash. I saw some journalist said it on a certain United fan channel. Sure, Man United had 95 million, but Man United are going to bring in about 100 million in sales, in the revenue, in season ticket holder. So we got about 200 million to spend. Man United have about 200 million to spend this summer, and I'm not going to flip flop from that. You'll see. Absolutely. LT, so what your opinion on Mason Mount, considering his cameos in the past couple of games? Do you think if he fit, be an asset or do you feel he hasn't done enough to consider him as we need? I don't. LT, if I'm being honest with you, I give players a chance. I just don't think he's done enough for me. If I'm being real with you, my friend, if I'm being real, I don't think he's done enough for Man United. When I've seen him play, he hasn't really influenced the game as much as I would have hoped that he would influence the game. You know, absolutely. What's with the cap sale? Have you lost a bet and shaved it? No, I've still got it, but my hair's a mess. Look at it. There you go. It's all flat now. My hair's all flat. I just ran out of gel, Darren. I just ran out of gel. Sometimes you just run out of gel. Shall I pull it backwards? Look, I could be just like those other fan channels. Watch this. And I have that. Nah, bruv. He's a bum, bruv. Nah, bruv. He's a bum. He's a bum, bruv. He's a bald fraud, bruv. Nah, bruv. Nah, Man United, man. Standards, man. No standards. All I need is a new era here written there. And then I think that'd be uncanny, don't you? I think that'd be very uncanny, in my opinion. I think I'm very good at impressions. I didn't understand why did not Qatari buy MMC, because Ineos facilitated the Glazers. So basically, the Glazers needed to leave. They needed to sell the football club. Ideally, the Glazers wanted to stay, but they needed an investor to stay. Basically, if Ineos wasn't there, they would have took the Qatar offer. They would have had no choice but to take the Qatar offer. But Jim Ratcliffe facilitated the Glazers. They offered 27% of the club, which means that the Glazers still own the majority of the club and still make decisions like Joe Glazer still does, you know, and it's disgraceful. And, you know, the whole bidding process in regards to Manchester United exposed a lot of things about a lot of people. Now people are beginning to see, right, just glimpses of why we wanted to force out. If Man United had Qatar, they would have had, obviously, the debt cleared, the Glazers be gone, PSR would have risen. You know, FFP would have risen, and we would have been in a really good place, to be honest with you. Absolutely. There you go. We lose always United. Big up, Leeson. Big up. Original Glazers lied about Qatar not having the funds to buy the club. They're liars, mate. I live in the Middle East, Triple M. These guys spend money like no one's business, you know. Have you ever seen Qatar Airport? Look, guys, I'm going to Qatar next month in July, right? I'm going to broadcast from Qatar around July time, okay? And I'm going on to Italy. And when I go on to Italy, that is when the transfer news comes thick and fast, of course, when I go on to Italy, which I did last year. Those who were here, guys, big up yourself if you're still here and stuff like that. But I will be going there, and we will be obviously getting the latest and the greatest, of course, in regards to transfer news, of course. But yeah, you know what? They spend money like no tomorrow, Qatar. You look at the way their infrastructure, Qatar Airways, the airport, the buildings and stuff in such a small country, what they do. And even here in the Middle East, some things I've seen, I'll be like, wow. You know what I mean? It's just incredible. You know what I mean? It's just incredible what they have built. And they would have done so well, man. Of course, they had the money. They had doubled the money. But obviously, they're not stupid to be paying. You really believe Ross Howard in the next? No, I don't. I don't. Definitely not. I don't believe it until I hear it from one of the main dudes. I'm not saying he don't know nothing, but I don't know much about him. I know about, I mean, even if it was Ben Jacobs, I mean, if it was someone like that, a little bit more credibility. No, but I saw the tweet randomly to convert. No, he's not. Ross Howard, he's probably a tier 3, 4, 5. You know what I mean, in regards to that. The news coming out of Cunha deal is that it slowed down a little bit, but it's not to say that it won't pick up acceleration over the next few hours. And it could be a here we go with Fabrizio Romano. Definitely, I'll be here live when it does go live. When it does go, obviously, I am in touch with Fabrizio Romano. People know me and stuff, and hopefully I will be in touch with him in the summer if he comes on my show. Of course, guys, he's a busy man. Absolutely. But yeah, definitely. I trust him. And if I see Fabrizio, let me just double check again. Because there are people who do mention it, who do have maybe a connect, but I don't think so, to be honest with you. Absolutely. There's nothing really coming out. No, nothing coming out. I mean, once you sacrifice yourself in regards to calling out transfers when they haven't happened, you do lose your credibility, if you know what I mean. You lose your credibility in regards to that. So I haven't seen anything from Fabrizio. Nothing since April the 21st. Nothing much. No, nothing. But I'm going to keep an eye on that anyway. Look, I'll keep an eye on that. Sure, if we can pay installments on Cunha, why can't we do that with Gutierrez? It's a good point. Good point, the problem is that Man United owe so much money on other transfers, is that we could do that. We can do that with a lot of transfers. We can even do that with the likes of players who have a release clause, right? So for example, what happens is that generally when the player has a release clause, you can pay that release clause, but you have to pay up the money full front. But you can also work out a deal with a team and say that, you know what, we'll give you the release clause, but we'll pay it in installments and we'll pay you extra interest on top. That's it. Another thing with Qatar, they don't believe in interest. So, there we go. If we win the Europa League as possible, yeah, I agree with Kenny there. So, Jim, the enabler, the Glazer destroyer, absolutely sharp. Absolutely. That will be the most beautiful day of our life when the Glazers and Ineos are leaving. I mean, if they ever leave, I hope it's in my lifetime. We'll be celebrating on here. Big up. Yeah, I hope so, but I don't think they'll do it. And we could get rid of those deadwood players. Yeah, just pay off their contracts. That's what would have happened. That's exactly what would have happened. Do these players deserve a trophy parade if we win it? Gladiator, I think Ruben Amorim deserves one. I think there are a few players there who've come in the deep end. The likes of De Ligt, the likes of Ugarte, those type of players, I would say, deserve a send-off. We're not Liverpool. We don't usually do parades for one trophy, but you know what, it will be a beautiful thing for Man United to win that Europa League. It's a big trophy, and I would like that. I think it would add a little bit of how would I say it, a little bit of morale, going into next season. I think Man United winning the Europa League is so important. It's not just for obviously Champions League qualification, it's also for confidence for next season, going into next season with morale and stuff like that, of course. If we do not support us, we're bad. Do not support us when we're good. Absolute Ephraim. Much love, brother. That is exactly what it is. Exactly. So please find Sheikh Jassim and get him to build Man United again when you go to Qatar. I'll find him, my friend. I was on Qatar television last year and trying to talk about the problems of Man United. I was actually broadcasted on one of the main channels in the Qatar area. And unfortunately... it is what it is with the Glazers, the greedy Glazers and Ineos, of course, who came out of nowhere and stuff like that. But definitely going to be keeping an eye on these transfer rumors surrounding Cunha, of course. Let me just refresh the page. I'll get a text from Ruben Amorim, from Fabrizio anyway, but let me just see. It's nothing here. It's nothing solid. It's nothing solid. It's nothing solid. Nothing at all. Let me just look at Ross Harwood again. Ross Harwood works for Football Journalist. That's it. Manchester United. Manuel Ugarte is Man United player. Deal is done. He's got no, that's Manuel Ugarte. Full agreement has been reached for Man United. The personal terms have been agreed for a 5-year deal. 62.5 million release clause will be met, paid in installments over the next years. Welcome to Manchester United, Mateus. In regards to Grok has said, no official confirmation exists for Mateus Cunha to Manchester United. As of 30th of April 2024, reports indicate that United are in advanced talks with a 62.5 million release clause and a positive contract discussions. However, competition from Arsenal, Aston Villa, and a Saudi club. So that is from Grok. So at the end of the day, they've been corrected in regards to that. So I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's true, to be honest with you. It's another in the know account or whatever you call it, basically spouting shit about De Jong. Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it, man? People got too much time on their hands. Would it be funny if United were the only club to win the European trophy with the season? Absolutely. We've been the most successful European club in the last 10 years in regards to that. Been to more finals than them. LT, sometimes I get pissed off by fans letting mainstream brainwash them about Amorim. Me too, my friend. Amorim said himself we're going to suffer since day one, and now we have a definite style of play, yet we're still complaining. It's mad, brother. It's bad. I know. We'll never get anywhere like that, of course. Hats off to Maguire, even to be criticism. He always here fighting for the badge, never giving. Yeah, hats off to Maguire. We're going to need him this season, you know. We're going to need him. We wouldn't be saying that, do you know what I mean? Karina, what's going on, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Long time no see. Amram Alters will be proved wrong if he wins Europa League. I want an apology, Shah. I want an apology. I'm waiting for so many apologies. I got a list of apologies that I could have. One of them was we're going to sign Dorgu in the summer. And people say, who's Dorgu? Just making up random names, bruv. You're just making up random names. And what happened? We signed Dorgu, didn't we? Madness at the end of the day. It's utter madness, guys. Absolutely. Guys, it has been a splendid show. It's gone pretty quickly. I mean, you know what? I'm glad to have Chatterbox back. I will be going more with Chatterbox. I don't get where the Ten Hag out is wanted style of play. We have 1-0, but it results business. Shah, you know what they do? They move the goalposts all the time. They shift the goalposts to fit their narrative. You know what I mean? They will never come on here, even if they were proven wrong, and say, I was wrong. You know what I mean? If Ruben Amram this time next season, right, and we're sitting here together doing a stream, if Ruben Amram this time next season is still 15th in the league, right, I would hold my hands up and say, look, maybe he's not getting it right. Maybe it's just not right for him. Maybe we need someone else. I would hold my hands up. But these guys, they're just, even if they're proven when they're blatantly, the sky is blue, you know what I mean? Like, just like it is in Abu Dhabi, it's blue every day. You know what I mean? They'll still tell you it's pink because it doesn't fit their narrative. And that is what it is. Flip-flops, I swear. Absolutely. What's your prediction for tonight? Barca have never beaten Inter. Is it Barca playing at home or away first leg? I wouldn't be surprised, Leeson, if Inter Milan win over 2 legs. Don't be surprised. They have a very good record. Italian teams have a very good record against Barcelona, in my opinion. Italian teams have a very, very good record against Barcelona. Barca at home. If Inter Milan escape with a draw, Inter Milan are going through. If they escape with a draw. If they can get a 1-1, a 0-0, but I don't think they can. It's going to be difficult at the Nou Camp. It is. But I just feel like the record of Italian teams and Spanish teams is different. It's different because even the great Barcelona were knocked out by Jose Mourinho, as we know. Even the great Barcelona, they were knocked out by Jose Mourinho. And, everyone expected Jose Mourinho to lose that game. But what happened, Barca 3-1, you're saying. There you go, Darren. There you go. They have to, Inter Milan have to escape it. They have to escape this game. I'm back in train. What do you think? Take them to Bar. I would take them for the bench, Shah. Not play them straight away, no. I'll take them on the bench, definitely. I think other call themselves fans, whereas in truth, they wish they were the worst, so they can spit negative crap for clicks without facing the real problem. I mean, negativity sells, doesn't it? It gets clicks, it gets likes and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It gets likes, it gets clicks and stuff. And to be honest with you, I don't deal with that. Mummy doesn't play that game. I don't play that game. At the end of the day, I don't do all that. 2-1 to Barca, says Shah. Sal, the yellow card Casemiro and Ugarte got in the quarterfinal do not count in the semi-final. Fantastic news, John O'Connell. That is good news. That's good news. That's how it should be. I mean, I'm old enough to remember Roy Keane and Paul Scholes being suspended for the 1999 Champions League final, which was a disgrace. It was a disgrace, guys. An absolute travesty. It was. Shouldn't have. I mean, it shouldn't even be. It should be 3 yellow cards for me, anyway. For me, it should be 3 yellow cards. I believe that. I believe it should be 3 yellow cards, not 2. Because it's very easy. You can get a yellow card in, like, back then, you can get a yellow card in the group stage and get another yellow card in the semi-final and you miss the final. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Casemiro and Ugarte better not pick up yellow. Pick up Shah. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. Hopefully they won't. Guys, thank you so much, you absolute legends, for joining me today. We're gearing down to the game tomorrow. We're ready for the game tomorrow, of course. We need them if they progress to the final. Bloody hell, we need them. Yes, Shah. We do. We need as many players as we can, but it's going to be a difficult game against Bilbao. And we have to be careful, and we need a strong referee tomorrow. We need a strong referee because those Bilbao players will be diving all over the shot. Absolutely. I'm pretty certain about that. So we're going to have to be ready for that, and we're going to have to be careful about that, of course, guys. Absolutely. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. I will be back tomorrow for Breaking Dawn. Don't forget to join me for that. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new. And please, Anana, don't make any mistakes. Absolutely, sure. Please don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. You're absolute legends. Thank you so much. I'm Sal Warner. This is Chatterbox, and I'll see you tomorrow. Or if anything breaks, I'll be live, guys. So keep your notifications on. Have a great evening, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. Enjoy it. Take it easy, guys. Peace.